Hey there, Sean Halley here from Positive Grid. Now that Bias Mini is showing up in stores, we assume that you're going to want to go check one out. So to make you a better checker-outerer, I'm going to take you through the front and back panels so you can know what's going on before you get there. So you can see that I have both bass and guitar with me on set today. The bass is the one connected and it's the one I'll be talking about, but they're both here. The only real difference between the units is that the guitar is silver and the bass is black. And we made it that way because bass players are infinitely powerful. They can take that G chord you're really proud of and turn it into an E minor 7 without you even knowing it. They're really mean. So we made them black because they're powerful. On the back as well, the bass unit has a combo speak-on and 1/4-inch connector. A lot of bass cabinets are coming with speak-on connectors now, so we thought that made sense. So from the left-hand side, one of the most undervalued features on any amplifier is the power switch. Without it, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Underneath that, you have the 1/8-inch connectors for the headphones. I will show you how to adjust that volume in a second. And to the right of that, you have the preset knob. Bias Mini guitar and bass come preloaded with 16 custom amplifiers, and those are arranged into 2 banks of 8. You can access those banks by pressing the encoder to go from green mode to red mode. So you can think about green mode as like being eco-friendly, so it's cleaner, and red mode is like fire, so it's dirtier, or you can think of the R in red as the R in aggressive, and the G in green as the G that's in clean. So to the right of that, you have traditional amp knobs. You have gain, bass, mid, and treble. So most of us are familiar with how that stuff works if we've ever seen any other amplifier in the world. One note on Bias Mini bass, there is a button you can see there that switches between mid-range band control. So depending on what tone stack you have loaded, you can switch between selecting the frequencies or selecting the gain. So you can check that out in the manual. To the right of that, you have the master volume encoder for the amp emulation. So it's not the power amp output, it's the master volume knob for the amp inside Bias Mini. To the right of that is a very unique feature for Mini. You can tell it's quite small, but we wanted to give you as much control over your audio as we could. So it's a 4-way master encoder. Multiple presses of the master encoder button get you control for the power amp output, the line output, the effect send level, and the headphone output. So very cool control. So that's the front panel, super easy to use. If you've ever used an amp, all you have to do is select a preset, tweak it, and you're ready to go. So let's switch around to the back panel so I can show you what's going on there. On the left-hand side, you have the power jack. To the right of that, you have a vent for the internal electronics. Just don't cover it, just don't put a piece of tape over it, just leave it. That's what it's there for. To the right of that, you have the effects loop, send and return jacks. To the right of that on the bottom, you have a foot switch jack for connecting bias foot switch for controlling patch changes live. If you need more control than what bias foot switch can provide, above that, you'll find 2 MIDI connectors on 1/8-inch jacks. And in the box, we actually include 2 of these things. It's a 1/8-inch to 5-pin MIDI DIN adapter, so it works just as normal. Bias Mini is very small, and we wanted to try to cram as much connectivity onto the back panel as we could. So that's why we did it. To the right of that, you have USB for connecting to a desktop machine on Mac or PC. And above that, you have the button for turning on Bluetooth. As you know, it has built-in Bluetooth wireless. And as an aside, the B in Bluetooth is a blue LED. So this is the only LED that really makes sense from a grammatical perspective on the box. To the right of that, you have the XLR balanced line out with a ground lift button. And to the right of that, you have the output for the onboard power amp. On the bottom, Bias Mini guitar has a 1/4-inch jack. On the top, Bias Mini bass has a combination speak-on and 1/4-inch connector, so it can connect to either connector type. As you can see, Bias Mini is super easy to use, it's really powerful, and it's super flexible. So head on up to PositiveGrid.com, hit the dealer locator, find a dealer near you with one in stock, and go try one out for yourself. And make sure to keep your eyes peeled for a bunch of new Bias Mini videos coming soon. Thanks very much for your time. See you again. Cheers.